Raider Nation, what is going on? Coming to you guys tonight because things are starting to heat up a little bit in the rumor mill. I mean, it kind of has been this entire time. This is rumor season. But I do have some Raiders trade rumor news for you guys. And of course, we made our first pretty much big roster cut of the offseason. A little bit more news, of course, to talk about. And with the CBA now being pushed back, the collective bargaining agreement, players are not liking that. Of course, there's teams and players. Everybody seems to be very frustrated with how things are going. That is now being pushed back to like literally a minute before the free agency tampering period begins. So when things start to, trickle down, it's just going to outpour with a bunch of news. Things are just going to be falling in place. Things are going to get hectic this offseason, as if they already aren't enough for Raider Nation. Things are going to get absolutely crazy from the NFL's end. Pretty much all across the board. But before I get started, I'm going to remind you guys about my place here, Stage Door Casino. And I want to tell you guys about this place often because I am super pumped on it for Vegas. I mean, honestly, especially from a guy from Central California that was, began an LA Raider fan, was an Oakland Raider fan. Now we're going to Vegas. And the one thing you worry about is the culture going to be the same. Well, I can promise you that the Raider Nation culture is going to be here at Stage Door Casino. So keep that place in mind anytime you make a trip to Vegas, not just for Raider games. Anytime you're going Raider Nation, make sure you stop by Stage Door Casino. So, like I said, 2020 news starting to heat up. Let's get into it. So, guys, like I said, we made our first cut of the offseason. Our first cut. Oh, also, let me remind you real quick. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe. I mean, honestly, come on. Who doesn't love it? More Raiders news. You can't get yourself enough Raiders content. But, like I said, we made our first cut of the offseason, and that was Tahir Whitehead, linebacker and captain Tahir Whitehead. Now, there's some mixed feelings, but obviously I think it's pretty popular across Raider Nation that we understand Tahir Whitehead was a great leader. He was a great leader on the field, off the field. Obviously worked hard. Looked pretty good as a football player. Honestly, man, he was always pumped up, always in shape, always game ready, always had the masks. He looked good as a football player. Now, he struggled in coverage a little bit. I'll tell you that much. That was, I think, the main reason probably we let him go. With the NFL adapting, this is obviously everyone's going to wear this word out. It's a passing league now. With the NFL adapting like that, Tahir Whitehead, I think, was the worst linebacker in coverage. He gave the worst passer rating the last 2 years as a linebacker in coverage. So, obviously, that's a red flag. And not only just that, now this goes into the season with only one linebacker from the 2019 squad that is still, that was active and played in 2019. That's only one guy left, and that's Markel Lee. It's our only linebacker left from 2019. You see guys like Nicholas Morrow, he's an unrestricted free agent. Our guy Will Compton, I just had an interview with my podcast. Like I said, subscribe on my YouTube. And check out my podcast. I'll drop a link in the bio as well. Check out my last episode interviewing Will Compton. Great dude, great football player. That's what we love as football fans. You see guys, Vontaze Burfict. There's a possibility of him coming back. Tahir Whitehead getting cut. Those were our main linebackers last season. Pretty much all gone. Markel Lee coming up on a contract year. And in my opinion, that's okay because we're in an offseason right now. The 2020 offseason, especially free agency, is if you can upgrade one position this year, it's freaking linebacker, dude. I mean, linebacker, we got Corey Littleton, who's going to be, he's all-around guy. He's special teamer, 3-down linebacker, every single thing that you can ask out of a linebacker, that's Corey Littleton. You have Joe Schobert, who could step in as a starting middle linebacker, no problem. Also going to get big money. Blake Martinez looking for a new home. Kind of the same struggles as Tahir Whitehead, but I can see him as a viable option for the Raiders as well. Nigel Bradham from the Eagles. We have Danny Trevathan from the Bears. Newly released Christian Kirksey is actually someone that catches my eye from the Browns. That's someone to keep an eye on this offseason. Nick Vigil, and of course, like I said, our guy Will Compton are all options that I see as guys to bring in that are veterans. And then not even just them. I'm going to say, of course, now we have some rookies that we could be looking at. Isaiah Simmons is, of course, on everyone's radar. Does he make it to us? Probably not. And, of course, Patrick Queen and Kenneth Murray are all going to be guys there at our picks. So, Tahir Whitehead gone. A lot of our linebackers are gone, but don't worry. I think we are in good hands. Now, transitioning over to more news I have for you. Gabe Jackson trade rumors are starting to swirl a little bit. And I think this is something that everybody's been seeing pretty much almost all season. Especially we had such a high rotation of interior offensive linemen starting with Gabe Jackson getting hurt, whatever he missed, 6 or 7 games at the beginning of the season. We had guys filling in for him. We had Richie Incognito missing the first 2 games, stuff like that. We had interior guys step up, just like Denzel Good, who got awarded a contract extension almost immediately after the season was over. So that was kind of writing on the wall for Gabe Jackson. And of course now I think maybe the Raiders, I don't know if they're struggling in a market for Gabe Jackson because his cap hit's over $9 million. So I can see maybe if players are iffy, like he's coming off a knee injury. He's allowed 5 sacks in each of the last 2 seasons, which is a big jump from what he did before. He'd only allow, I think the year he got a contract extension, he didn't allow a sack. The year after that, he allowed 1 sack. His pressures are about the same. He usually averages 20 to 25 pressures a year, which is pretty good. But giving up 5 sacks in a season is a little alarming, I guess, as a guard. And to be making that much money, of course, wasn't exactly, I guess maybe living up to his contract. Now, we're going to be looking for a trade suitor. I don't really see much coming out of Gabe Jackson trade. I can see something. We can look at the Kelechi Osemele trade. I see a day 3 pick at earliest being our trade compensation. And the fact that the news is getting out, maybe we're having trouble finding a trade partner. A lot of times when things get put out like this, teams will just wait now. Obviously, they're looking to dump the contract. And hey, shout out to Reggie McKenzie, who didn't always draft the best, but he was a magician with the contracts, and he worked in 0 dead money. So we are going to pretty much save his entire contract as soon as he is either released or traded. So traded would be nice, but obviously teams are seeing, they could cut him with no penalty. So obviously there's a good chance that we wait until that happens. Or, hey, you never know. Maybe we restructure that contract. All depends on how Gabe Jackson feels, but he could still feel like he's a top guard that could, get more monies elsewhere. So we'll see how that turns out. And now the last thing I'm going to bring up is Raiders are showing interest in bringing up a backup quarterback, Marcus Mariota from the Tennessee Titans. And I think that this is a great option. This is the last thing I want to hit on. Marcus Mariota, I think, would be a great option. I think him and Derek Carr would get along great in the quarterback room. Obviously, I think that could maybe push our quarterback even a little bit more to feel like there's more competition because, no offense, Mike Glennon, Nathan Peterman, Deshaun Kaiser, those aren't guys that are going to be in there, really competing for a job. Marcus Mariota can go in there and bring a little spark, bring a little fire to that quarterback room. You know what I mean? Derek takes it all as the starting quarterback, but if Derek was to be gone, if Derek was to get injured or anything happened to him, if he missed a game, whatever it was, missed a drive or a snap, we were not in good hands, I don't think, last year. Even the year before, looking at like a guy like A.J. McCarron. So now that we're dealing with, if we could have Marcus Mariota back there, I would feel completely comfortable if he had to come in, step in for a game or two, and try and run this offense. Good dude, obviously a hard worker, loves football, all about it. So that's going to be it for this week. Like I said, I'm trying to keep it short and sweet for you guys. Hope you like it. I'm trying to get a little bit more used to this YouTube channel. I'm going to keep developing and keep getting new things. So like I said, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that little bell notification. Keep up to date with all my newest YouTube channels. And not just me, guys. If you guys listen to my podcast, you know my co-host, Kenny King Jr. He started up a YouTube channel as well. I'll be dropping a link to his channel in my bio. I'm trying to get some links here on my videos. Maybe those will pop up as well for you guys. So, free agency, man, it's coming close. Be ready. What is that? Monday? Is that when it starts? The tag deadline? Woo, we got like 4 days from this video. We got like 4 days left. Things are going to be pumping out quick. So, until next time,